The moment I saw the title and the person doing the speaking in this video, I knew that this would need to get a response from me. This is Onision, and I can't tell whether he's just being a superficial moron on purpose for the sake of being a superficial moron on purpose, or if he's actually trying to make a point here. However, I've watched this video and then watched it again. There are people who actually believe the things he's saying, large quantities of them, and so, Onision, I'm sorry, but you're receiving both guns today. Both guns and a hand grenade. Your title is, quote, feminism isn't needed in the Western world, unquote, unquote. So, let's begin. Take it away.
Feminism isn't needed in the Western world.
Yes, that's what a decent number of people believe, at least online, and in private, in real life. Some of them take this belief into the outside world with various separate consequences. Sometimes they're screamed at and called scum by feminist protesters. Sometimes they're tossed out of conventions for expressing harassment, which is an Orwellian term for disagreement. There have been a few actual debates featuring feminists and not feminists, and sometimes they will be accused of rape apologia and misogyny from people they thought loved them. Yeah, these types of things actually happen. You can say that you don't believe in certain statistics due to dishonest number wiping and told that you hate women by people close to you who believe in those faulty numbers. Does this seem right to you, Onision? Does this seem like something you should be advocating for? And do you think that shitting on the people who are trying to have a conversation puts you above them, simply because you have to be above someone to shit on them?
Or so that's what a lot of you fucking idiots keep saying.
Yes. And I'm going to keep saying it, and saying it, and saying it, and saying it until someone actually addresses what I'm saying instead of accusing me of hatred for saying feminism isn't needed in the Western world. But it's very nice that you're calling everyone who believes this a fucking idiot, regardless of the reasoning that brought them to that conclusion. Shitting on them it is, I suppose.
If you are an anti-feminist, you might want to click away from this video.
Why would I do that? You know, I don't stop listening to a video simply because they disagree with me about something. I listen, and I take in their point like a regular human being does. So yes, please tell me why I should click out of this video.
Because you're about to get fucking decimated.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Feminism is the advocacy of women's rights on the grounds of political, social, and economic equality to men.
Feminism is the advocacy of women's rights. I took that right out of the definition you've given me, so see if you can take this on board without having a fucking aneurysm. Since that is the definition, and regardless of what comes after that portion of the definition, feminism is not compatible with advocating for men's rights. Feminism only advocates for the rights of women, if it can even be said to do that. The dictionary does not describe real-life things. It describes the words we use for those things. This is what pisses me off more than anything else. Language was just made up by us to describe our surroundings and communicate with other people. What language was not meant for is distorting the world around us. You're doing the opposite of language right now, Onision. Instead of using words to accurately describe the world, you're using words to claim that your fantasy world is real and everyone who doesn't believe in that is a fucking idiot. Feminism is the advocacy of women's rights, full stop. There doesn't need to be anything else. It doesn't matter if equality comes after the beginning of the sentence if we are using the dictionary as our reality guide. It is not for equality if it advocates for one sex's rights, even if the rights of the other sex are fewer in comparison.
Keyword equality.
The key words are the entire sentence. Let's say, for instance, women achieve equality to men, which they have. What does feminism do now? Oh shit, that's right, let's advocate for more women's rights because the dictionary says that we aren't equal yet. Fuck the legal code, fuck anything that resembles reality in the slightest. I'm gonna bury my face into the dictionary and shove a bullshit siphon up my own asshole because reality is irrelevant. What matters is what the dictionary says about the word used to label a certain thing that I like. Okay. With science, things are constantly evolving, pardon the pun, and things are being proven and disproven left and right. So if one day we find out that a long-standing scientific theory is untrue, and yet the dictionary describes the words used for the processes in that theory as widely accepted as truth, does that make those scientists who disprove something wrong? No. No, it doesn't. It makes the dictionary outdated and useless in regards to that particular word. And so when they put out the next edition of the dictionary, that will change. Unless your reference tool for the next edition of the dictionary is the fucking dictionary. The dictionary is not a guide to reality, it is a guide to words. And sometimes words come, words go, and words change definition with the honest usage among people. Deal with it.
Now, the reason I have to point this out is because people say stupid shit like egalitarianism is better than feminism, even though it's basically the same thing. They both call for equal rights.
That's false. You have one word that deals with both sexes' rights, and the other only deals with women's rights. If men are unequal under the law, egalitarians know exactly what to do, or at least they should. Well, it looks like we should straighten this out and give men the rights that they currently lack in order to maintain that balance. However, if men are unequal under the law, feminists, women's rights, equality to men, people who advocate for men's rights are evil, Donald Trump, patriarchy, rape, harassment, send the people who disagree with me to the Quran, dictionary, and then ban them from speaking, please. Your argument is awful, even when we use your definition. They suck. When wondering what a tree looks like, I go outside and look at a tree, while you bury your face in a dictionary and yell at me for getting it wrong because the dictionary doesn't mention leaves anywhere in the definition, fucking idiot.
For some fucking reason, despite the fact that they're basically the same thing, you guys can't get over the fact that it starts out with fem, as in female. The word defined starts with fem. For some fucking reason, your brain just turns off after that point.
No, your brain turns off. Please tell me why something that is for equality would call itself something referring to one sex. This is one of the reasons the civil rights movement didn't call itself blackism. It's also why feminism doesn't call itself the women's rights movement. Think about that for a while, since you're so concerned about language. I call things what they are.
Here's someone saying the literal definition of feminism doesn't have meaning. And here's where you get fucking wrecked. This is the definition, and the main argument people have against it is that feminists do not follow this definition.
Very good. Very good, Onision. It's almost like the dictionary is wrong. Let's see how he handles it in his natural habitat, folks.
So I ran a fucking poll, and over 1,000 people voted. 69% of feminists believe that women are equal to men. So the mass majority of feminists follow the fucking definition of feminism, and your main argument against feminism is that feminists don't fit the definition.
I see that someone has a difficulty separating what people profess to believe and what they actually do. Do you think that anyone who says that they believe something immediately follows that set of rules they lay out for themselves? I believe that no one should ever lie, therefore I have never lied. I believe that people should drink alcohol responsibly, therefore I have never been drunk. I believe that women should be equal to men, and therefore I'm right about everything regarding equality in this context, and I'm never sexist. What the hell, man? How does this work in your brain? Do you know how Twitter works either? Did you think saying this is for feminists only made sure that 0 non-feminists voted there? If this is the type of data you're using, all I can do is laugh right in your mask-covered face. By the way, why do you have that on anyway? You're such a superficial thinker that it's embarrassing. Well, looks like I've been decimated. This obnoxious, bloviating moron did a Twitter poll. Better slap that poll in the dictionary so it becomes absolute truth. Make sure you put down the 15% believe women are superior and 16% believe women are inferior to men thing in there as well. Your wording for the poll was, are women equal, inferior, or superior to men? How do you know that feminists weren't exclaiming that women are already equal to men and we don't need feminism anymore? This is the type of rookie language crap people always dive into. The definition of feminism talks about legal, social, and economic rights, whatever that middle one is, and your poll talked about their worth as human beings. You can't even confirm your sample. God damn it, this is stupid.
You see feminazis, which are extremists, and your fucktard brain mixes that up with regular feminists. That's on your inferior intelligence. It has nothing to do with actual reality.
I guess you're right. It's not possible that feminazis and regular feminists have started to bleed into one another. It's not possible that feminists have become more extreme. It's not possible that videos of feminists pulling fire alarms came out or screaming awful things at people who simply disagree with them, laughing at male suicide and their rights, assaulting police officers who won't do exactly what they say, calling the cops on people who disagree, taking people to court for disagreement, vandalizing property over lies, all of the feminists who like and support popular radical feminists like Sarkeesian and Lacey Green and such. Nah. He did a Twitter poll based on platitude. An honest person knows when he's been decimated. But one thing, how does one distinguish between a feminazi and a regular feminist? Generally, my criteria is when one of them goes, reality isn't real because this book my professor or another feminist told me. So congratulations, Onision, you're a feminazi.
Your problem is you prioritize your closed-minded personal experiences over the fucking truth.
One more time.
Your problem is you prioritize your closed-minded personal experiences over the fucking truth.
That's all that the average feminist does. That's it. Feminism is about taking bad experiences that probably aren't sexist in nature, making them sexist in nature, and then projecting that bad experience onto all women, and projecting the perpetration of that bad experience onto all men. Want to hear my proposal for the entry of feminism in the next edition of the dictionary? The belief that men are by default tainted, and women by default pure. According to this ideology, men have to work to attain purity in their eyes, and they never attain it, while women are pure no matter what they do, as long as they still profess to be feminists. Female feminists either never do bad things, or only do bad things because outside circumstances forced them to. It is the ideological equivalent of the fundamental attribution error. Everything I do that has negative consequences was forced upon me. Everything the people I dislike do, no matter how good, is for nefarious purposes.
If the literal facts don't match your personal experiences, you fucking ignore them. And that is why in this moment you should be humiliated.
I'm so humiliated. Why didn't I think of doing a Twitter poll? I've let you all down. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Forever standing against feminists, the mass majority of which have literally been supporting exactly the fucking message I've been arguing all this time.
Objectifying women, huh? Why are you against women deciding what they can and can't wear in front of men? Or whether they can be featured in magazines wearing certain things? Or whether artists can invent sexy women crafted out of code for a video game? I haven't watched that video, but I'm just going to, point out that feminists believe those things. It looks like referring to the dictionary where it says equality doesn't exactly describe everything about this hellscape that you call a movement. Oh wait, you didn't even call it a movement. The Truth book that you cited didn't have the word movement in it, so I guess it's a no-no word.
And because I know you're so fucking stupid, even now that you've been proven wrong,
I haven't been proven wrong, though. Projection incoming.
you still won't admit your defeat in the fucking comments. Because that's the type of fucking person you are. You're a fucking scumbag liar who doesn't care about the truth, only their personal agenda, against a group of people they don't even fucking understand.
Ah, that one was juicy. You know that a Twitter poll in the dictionary doesn't actually prove any of the arguments wrong, right?
You say feminism is not needed in the Western world. This is one explanation of what the Western world is, and here's a map if that wasn't clear enough. We're talking Australia, Canada, United States, UK, etc.
Okay. Hit me with these facts.
Speaking of UK, according to this, women still cannot serve on the front lines. That is not equality, and that calls for feminism.
A woman can't rape a man, according to the UK's legal code. What does this call for? If the answer is feminism, then you're contradicting the definition you laid out for us at the beginning, because it's not a women's right being advocated for. And if the answer is not feminism, then you're admitting that feminism doesn't give a shit about the equality of the sexes. You're the one who boxed yourself into this linguistic prison cell, not anyone else. Maybe, if you didn't mentally shit yourself anytime someone thinks that feminism is doing more harm than good, you'd understand this. What have feminists in the UK done about this inequality? Try to remember. Is the answer close to fucking nothing? Oh, also, a quick Google search reveals that the Prime Minister of the UK, David Cameron, has ordered the Ministry of Defence to be ready to welcome female soldiers into close combat roles next year. And this was said in 2015. Update your dictionary.
Apparently, some people have tried to oppress women by implying men should pay less for healthcare than women.
If you need more things medically done to keep you healthy, you pay more. Tough shit, not sexism.
Another example of why we in the Western fucking world need feminism.
I don't know why there's this requirement that women need to fear being harassed, catcalled, or being in danger, while men categorically never have to worry about those things. I don't think anyone should be too worried about these things, but precautions can be taken to make yourself safer if you feel in danger. Men are far more likely to be the victim of a violent crime anyway, Mr. Fact Man. So if they can walk around without pissing themselves when turning every corner, I think women can too. I like the slight equivalency between being harassed and catcalled and being in danger. Those are two very different things. I also like the separation of the terms harassment and catcalling, as if they're two separate things that don't overlap. I've learned that feminists don't even speak English. They speak Propagese. Words mean what we say they mean because we are the authority on language. See, look, the dictionary advertises us right here as a good thing. You have to abandon your understanding of the English language to believe this nonsense.
The US women's soccer team gets paid disgustingly less than the US male soccer team. And this is exceptionally odd because according to this article, their most recent World Cup was the most watched soccer game in American television history. And if they're getting more views, they should at least get equal fucking pay. This is why we need feminism in the Western fucking world.
Men's soccer brings in more money than women's soccer. More people watch men's soccer as opposed to women's soccer. Therefore, they pay based on what they know their budgets will allow them to pay because of the revenue coming in. They are getting more views, sure, but not an equal number of views, or even close to equal to men's soccer. Sargon did a whole video about this. It's in the description. Watch it. It explains this issue very well and in great detail. You have gotten nothing correct this entire time, Onision. Okay, maybe one thing. There's hardly anything I can cling to that says, okay, at least this person understands this. No, because if the dictionary doesn't understand it, then you don't understand it. And if someone says something other than what the dictionary says, then they don't understand it. A little thought experiment. If a dictionary said this: patriarchy, the advocacy of men's rights on the basis of economic, social, and legal equality to women, would you believe it? Would you think that would be correct? If the dictionary defined carbon monoxide as non-toxic gas that smells like freshly cut lawn, would you believe it? No, because reality is different. You sound like someone who has seen zero examples of feminists doing bad things, or, and I think this is more likely, you sound like someone who simply wants to define bad feminists as not feminists at all, and therefore you're wrong. You want to call bad feminists a different word and declare them not feminists. I won't allow it.
Apparently in Texas, maxi pads and tampons were being confiscated before people could enter a courthouse, but for some fucking reason, people could still hold on to their goddamn guns. Are you fucking hearing me, anti-feminists? You are so fucking wrong, it's pathetic, and I hope at the very least, embarrassing for you.
Quote, Texas Capitol Police confiscated all kinds of items from people on Friday, including jars of feces, as hundreds of protesters flooded the building in the final hours of a Senate debate on a controversial abortion bill. Unquote. Quote, the Texas Department of Public Safety indicated earlier Friday that officers would thoroughly search everyone coming into the Capitol for articles that potentially could be thrown at lawmakers for as long as the Senate debate continues. But Stand With Texas Women later tweeted that police had stopped confiscating tampons and maxi pads at the urging of Democratic Senator Kirk Watson. Unquote. 2 paragraphs about the story, and the context presents itself quite beautifully. Keep setting them up and I'll keep knocking them down. When you have an arrogant attitude about totally wrecking and demolishing arguments, it's very, very, very key to make sure that you're correct about this so-called oppression and that you're giving the entire story to your audience.
Another marvelous point. As far as health insurance goes, a ridiculous amount of people object to women getting drugs related to the reproductive system, and yet when men want drugs related to the reproductive system, it's completely fucking fine. Individuals literally protest against things like birth control being covered by insurance, but not vasectomies and penile implants.
Individuals protest against birth control options they deem to be abortifacient, generally. Some people, however, don't think the government should be involved in the bedroom. What are you doing right now? Are you freaking out yet?
Yes, anti-feminists, there is no need for feminists in the Western world, is there? Despite the fucking obvious inequalities. In this country, we allow rapists to sue for custody. And as you may know, the majority of rapes are committed by men against women. This is an example of a rapist being able to sue the fucking victim. And this is why we need fucking feminism in the Western fucking world.
Find me a story of a woman being convicted of raping a man. Not aggravated sexual assault, actual rape. As in the charge brought forth was rape, and it wasn't statutory in nature. It's quite difficult. But it is possible for women to rape men, get pregnant, have that child, and then force the man who was raped to pay for it. I mean, if your standard is, this happened one time, then we're on an equal footing, aren't we? Which women's right will feminists advocate for that alleviates that?
The definition of slut itself specifically states that only a woman can be considered a slut.
Ah, yes. The Book of Truth has arrived to tell us all how we use our words. Please tell me more, O wise one. What does the dictionary say about working on Sundays?
You know goddamn well that in our Western society, if a man sleeps around with women, he is far better treated than when a woman sleeps around with many men. You know for a fact this is fucking true. And this is why we need feminism in the fucking Western world.
Okay, in my experience, men were looked at differently for sleeping around a lot. And not in a good way. The term player and man whore were thrown around a decent amount, as in they just use women for sex and things like that. Oh, wait, yeah. You were referencing slut as a gendered word, so it's impossible that there's a male equivalent, right? God damn it, I just want to rage quit another video. It's just the same nonsense over and over and over again. But we're going to power through it. We're going to get through this together. Forgive me if I'm slightly terse throughout the rest of this.
You know that tradition in our society where a man is expected to ask the father for permission or his blessing to marry his fucking daughter? And then the other tradition where the father has to walk the daughter down the aisle and hand his daughter off to the man she's going to marry? You don't ask the mom for permission. Why? Why is it portrayed as if the father owns his fucking daughter? This is why we need fucking feminism in the modern world. Because even our marital traditions are fucking sexist against women.
And this is where I've determined that you're either a troll or a Sarkeesian-level con artist who does these videos for the sake of reaction views bringing more revenue in. I don't know. You may actually believe this stuff, but I'm not entirely sure. Also, you left out the part where men are required to get down on one knee as if begging royalty for permission to love her. Why doesn't the woman propose? Blah, blah, blah. That's what you sound like. I'm not a big fan of marriage contracts, so that's not in my plan at the moment, but don't act like marriage is something that oppresses women simply due to the ceremony that may or may not accompany the actual contract. At the risk of going against my prior assertion of powering through this, Rule 14. I wish you no success in the future. Once this YouTube thing blows over, I'm sure there will be jobs where yelling incoherent bullshit at a screen is the only requirement. Maybe you'll end up being a televangelist. Anyway, have a wonderful day.